joined here in Los Angeles by Robert Weiss, Executive Director of the Sexual Recovery Institute in Los Angeles, author of Cruise Control, Understanding Sex Addiction. What's your read on Senator Craig?
I think Senator Craig made a big mistake walking in that restroom and acting out, but there's no question in my mind that he did do that.
Because?
Because of the way he defended it. This is what I do for a living. I work with men in power who sexually act out.
Well, why would a United States Senator with the problem risk it all in a public men's room?
Shame and repression. I mean, here's a guy who may have parts of himself that he doesn't want anyone to know about, and he's going to go off to a secret place to act them out and hope that no one's going to find out. He may have some compulsive or addictive sexual behaviors. Clearly, there's a part of him he doesn't like and doesn't want anyone else to know about.
Would he wander into another bathroom?
I hope he wanders into my office.
What makes you addicted?
These are men who don't draw comfort from human relationships. You know, they can't really get the stuff that we get when we're intimate.
Yeah. And you wouldn't be able to do it because you were disconnected at a young age.
That's right.
Yeah.
They never learned it.
Yeah.
And so for them, this is comfort. Sex addiction is not about sex, and it's certainly not about orgasm. It's like gambling addiction. It's like losing yourself in the process of it. And the men that I work with, they're lost in the flirting and the looking and the possibilities of what might happen.
Can you cure yourself?
No. I don't think any addict can do this on their own, and left to their own devices, an addict is going to keep doing what they do. I didn't wake up one morning and say, I'm going to do this today. I woke up 5 months ago or 5 years ago and said, boy, this looks kind of good to me, and I evolved down a road of eventually landing at that door. These guys need to say and understand that they have the potential to harm a child.
Weiss has taken a particular interest in our investigations because his clinic is now treating some of the men caught in our last investigation.
With the growth of pornography on the internet, it's easier than ever for potential addicts to get hooked.
Internet pornography is the crack cocaine of sex addiction. All those images are so immediate online. There are so many of them, and you can go from one to another to another to another. Their fear and anxiety and sadness is about themselves. It's certainly not for those children. There's no real remorse for the child that they might have harmed. There's no real empathy for the family of the child or the child. Well, it's a huge problem. Millions of families are affected. There's no question about it. You know, I work with guys who are getting up in the middle of the night once their wives have gone to bed and getting online and, you know, racing home to get online before their families get home just so they can catch a little bit of porn. And it's really a problem. There are people who are literally driving themselves crazy doing this stuff.
Robert Weiss directs the Sexual Recovery Institute in Los Angeles.
If your goal in parenting is to get the kids to bed so you can get online, that's a problem. When Sex on the Phone first came along, I think it was incredibly exciting for the guy who wanted to remain anonymous and wanted to protect his safety in his mind, although certainly being on the phone leaves a bit of a trail, but at the same time have this sexual intensity with a woman. For someone who grows up in an environment that is particularly neglectful or destructive or harmful, paired with their own biological challenges, that person might be more likely to have addictive problems.
Robert Weiss, do you believe him? I mean, look, you deal with this kind of issue all the time.
I think it's tragic listening to it, but no, I don't think he's being truthful. Sex addicts learn that they can use the fantasies in their head and the arousal that produces in order to induce a sense of safety and calm and security inside of themselves.